Look, if the zombie apocalypse started tomorrow, your city would probably become a concrete graveyard within 48 hours. I know that sounds harsh, but hear me out. Most American cities are designed like zombie buffets, packed with millions of people, limited escape routes, and zero defensive advantages. But here's the thing nobody talks about. Some cities are different. A handful of locations across America have what I call the survival trifecta: the right geography, the right resources, and the right people to actually make it through when everything goes to hell. I've spent months analyzing military data, geographic studies, and real survival statistics to find the 7 cities where you'd actually want to be when the dead start walking. These aren't just random picks. These are places that could genuinely keep you alive. Before we dive into the winners, you need to understand why your current city is probably screwed. Population density is the silent killer in zombie scenarios. Take New York City. 27,000 people crammed into every square mile. One infected person at Times Square could create a chain reaction that turns Manhattan into a zombie playground in hours, not days. The math is terrifying. In dense cities, one zombie creates 10 zombies in the first hour. Those 10 become 100. Within 24 hours, you're not fighting individual zombies. You're facing an unstoppable wave of the undead. But the cities on my list, they've got natural advantages that flip this equation on its head.
So this is the top 7 strongest cities to be in during a zombie apocalypse in the US, starting with Salt Lake City, Utah. Salt Lake City grabs the 7th spot because it's essentially nature's own zombie-proof bunker, wrapped in religious preparedness culture. This city sits in a natural bowl, surrounded by the Wasatch and Oka mountain ranges that reach over 11,000 feet. Zombies can't climb mountains, which means you've got natural walls protecting you from every direction. The Mormon population here has turned preparedness into a religious doctrine, with the average household maintaining 3 to 6 months of food storage. We're talking about 200,000 plus households that have been prepping for the end times since before it was trendy. The elevation works in your favor too. At 4,300 feet above sea level, the thin air would slow down any zombies that somehow made it through the mountain passes. The city has multiple underground tunnel systems downtown, and the Great Salt Lake provides a natural barrier to the west. Plus, Hill Air Force Base sits just 30 miles north, with F-35 fighter jets and underground facilities that could serve as command centers. The Mormon culture emphasizes self-reliance, community cooperation, and emergency preparedness, exactly what you need when society collapses. The downside? Utah winters drop to minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit regularly. While they'd freeze zombies solid like meat popsicles, they might freeze you too if you're not prepared for mountain survival. Virginia Beach makes the list because it's got something most cities don't: the entire US Navy as your personal zombie fighting force. This place is home to Naval Air Station Oceana, with over 200 military aircraft, and sits right next to Norfolk Naval Base, which houses the world's largest naval installation. We're talking aircraft carriers, destroyers, submarines, and 75,000 active duty military personnel. Basically, floating cities that could serve as offshore safe zones when the mainland gets overrun. The city ranks in the top 10 nationally for zombie survival, specifically because of its military resources. The population density here is perfect, about 1,800 people per square mile. That's enough people to have excellent infrastructure and resources, but not so many that you'd have uncontrollable infection spread. The city has 35 miles of coastline, with hundreds of marinas and boat launches. When land becomes overrun, you can take to the water. The Chesapeake Bay provides countless islands and waterways for establishing floating communities, or water-based supply runs. The military presence means access to advanced medical facilities, weapons, ammunition, and most importantly, trained personnel who know how to fight and survive. If the entire East Coast falls, Virginia Beach gives you the best shot at reaching safer territories overseas. Anchorage earns 5th place because it has the ultimate zombie-killing weapon: Mother Nature herself.
When temperatures hit minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which happens regularly, zombies literally become ice sculptures. Dead bodies can't generate heat, so Alaska's brutal winters would freeze the undead solid for 4 to 5 months at a time. You'd have entire seasons where the zombie threat is completely neutralized. Alaska ranks high in survival studies because of its climate advantages and resource independence. Alaskans are already living in survival mode. The average person here owns multiple firearms, knows how to hunt moose and caribou, fish for salmon, and live off the land. The state produces its own oil at Prudhoe Bay, has massive wildlife populations for food, and operates independently from the lower 48 states. Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson houses F-22 Raptors and troops trained for Arctic warfare. These aren't regular soldiers, they're specialists who operate in the world's most hostile environments. Alaska's geographic isolation creates a natural quarantine zone. Zombies can't swim across the Canadian wilderness, the Bering Sea, or survive the Arctic tundra. If the outbreak starts in the lower 48, Alaska would have precious weeks or months to prepare and potentially avoid infection entirely. Denver takes 4th place by giving you the ultimate high ground advantage, literally and strategically. At 5,280 feet above sea level, Denver's elevation affects zombie mobility while giving you commanding views across the Great Plains for 50+ miles in every direction. You can spot zombie hordes coming from literally hours away. The city sits at the base of the Rocky Mountains, providing natural barriers to the west and escape routes into mountain wilderness areas with thousands of caves and abandoned mines for shelter. Denver is the logistics hub for the entire western United States, which means massive warehouse districts, transportation networks, and supply chains. The city has more than 500 warehouses storing everything from food to medical supplies to outdoor gear. Buckley Air Force Base houses the 460 Space Wing with satellite communication capabilities, and the Denver Federal Center has underground facilities and emergency operations centers.
The Colorado National Guard has multiple armories throughout the metro area. The 4-season climate gives you winter zombies slowing without the extreme cold that makes human survival nearly impossible. Summer temperatures rarely exceed 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and the low humidity helps preserve supplies and equipment. Plus, Colorado has the highest concentration of outdoor enthusiasts and survivalists in the country. Number 3 is San Antonio, because it's not just near military bases, it is a military city, with more firepower than most small countries. Joint Base San Antonio combines Lackland Air Force Base, Fort Sam Houston, and Randolph Air Force Base into one massive military complex, covering 266,000 acres. We're talking about 80,000 plus military personnel, advanced aircraft, including C-5 Galaxy cargo planes, and the largest military medical center in the world. Recent studies rank San Antonio in the top 3 cities for zombie survival, specifically because of these military resources. The city serves as a major distribution hub for Texas and the Southwest, with massive H-E-B grocery distribution centers and Amazon fulfillment facilities storing millions of pounds of supplies. San Antonio's position in South Texas keeps it away from major population centers that would see initial outbreak chaos, but close enough to resources and escape routes to Mexico. The city has 15+ hospitals, including military medical facilities, and Texas culture emphasizes self-reliance and gun ownership. This is a population where 45% of households own firearms. The infrastructure here is designed to handle extreme weather and emergencies, with redundant power grids, multiple water sources, and communication networks that would keep essential services running. The Alamo isn't just a tourist attraction, it's a symbol of the fighting spirit you'll need to survive. Fort Worth earns the silver medal and was actually ranked the #1 zombie survival city in a recent national study by survival experts. This city doesn't just lead in weapons availability, it dominates. Fort Worth has 18 hunting gear stores, 60+ weapons and ammunition dealers, and more gun ranges than any other American city. We're talking about outfitting an entire zombie fighting army just by shopping at local Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's locations. The city also ranks 2nd nationally in supermarkets, with over 400 grocery stores, and has extensive supply chains for everything from food to medical supplies. Fort Worth's highway system includes I-35, I-20, and I-30 convergence, creating unmatched mobility options with multiple escape routes in every direction.
The city serves as a major transportation crossroads, with DFW Airport, one of the world's largest, extensive rail networks, and trucking hubs. The population density hits that sweet spot, 2,400 people per square mile. Enough people to form effective defense groups without creating uncontrollable infection risks. Naval Air Station Joint Reserve Base Fort Worth provides military backup. Fort Worth's industrial base includes Lockheed Martin's F-35 production facility, Bell helicopter manufacturing, and defense contractors that give you access to advanced equipment and manufacturing capabilities.
Houston takes the top spot as America's ultimate zombie apocalypse survival city, and the reasons will blow your mind. Houston dominates every survival category. The city has more hunting gear stores, weapons dealers, and ammunition suppliers than any other American city. Houston also boasts more airports and helipads than any other city, plus the largest medical complex in the world at the Texas Medical Center, with 21 hospitals and 8 specialty institutions. This is the energy capital of America. Houston's refineries produce 2.8 million barrels of oil daily. Extensive pipeline networks and energy infrastructure mean you'd have fuel for vehicles, generators, and heating long after other cities go dark. The Port of Houston is the second largest port in America, providing water access for escape routes and international supply lines. The city's industrial base includes 4,600 plus manufacturing facilities, producing everything from chemicals to steel to medical equipmento. Houstonians have survived Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Ike, and multiple industrial disasters. This is a population that knows how to handle crisis situations and work together for survival. The city has a diverse population, bringing together survival skills from around the world, and NASA's Johnson Space Center provides access to the most advanced technology and communication systems on Earth.
What most people don't know is that several of these cities sit above extensive underground military installations that could serve as ultimate zombie shelters. Underground military bases and bunker networks exist throughout the United States, many connected to the cities on our list. These facilities were built during the Cold War to survive nuclear attacks and can easily withstand zombie hordes. Cheyenne Mountain Complex near Denver, Raven Rock Mountain Complex accessible from Virginia, and numerous undisclosed underground facilities provide ultimate protection. These underground complexes have independent power systems, water supplies, air filtration, and can house thousands of people for months or years. They're connected by hardened communication networks and have access to military equipment and supplies. While officially classified, their existence near our top-ranked cities isn't coincidental. The government has been preparing for catastrophic scenarios for decades, and these facilities represent humanity's best chance for long-term survival and eventual rebuilding of civilization.
There's been a massive surge in billionaire bunker construction in recent years, and they're choosing locations that align with our survival cities. Mark Zuckerberg is building a $270 million underground compound in Hawaii. Bill Gates, Kim Kardashian, and other celebrities are investing millions in doomsday bunkers. The bunker industry has seen a 2,000% increase in sales since 2020, with luxury underground facilities selling for millions of dollars. The ultra-wealthy have access to information and intelligence that regular people don't. Their massive investments in survival infrastructure suggest they know something about future threats that hasn't been made public. These bunkers feature advanced air filtration, hydroponics systems, weapons storage, and can sustain life for years. If the people with the most resources and inside information are preparing for catastrophic scenarios, maybe the rest of us should be paying attention to where they're building these facilities. The bottom line, geography is destiny. When the zombie apocalypse begins, your survival won't depend on luck. It'll depend on being in the right place with the right resources and the right people. Recent research shows that 39% of Americans believe we're living in end times, and survival experts agree that geographic location is the most important factor in catastrophic scenarios. The cities on our list share common characteristics: optimal population density, abundant resources, military infrastructure, natural defensive advantages, and populations with survival skills.
These 7 cities represent America's best hope for maintaining civilization during a zombie apocalypse. They have the weapons to fight, the resources to survive, the geography to defend, and the people to rebuild. But here's the catch. When the outbreak begins, these locations will become magnets for survivors from across the country. The people who arrive first will control the resources and establish the power structures. Your survival doesn't depend on luck. It depends on being in the right place when civilization falls, and having a plan to get there before everyone else figures it out.
The question isn't whether you could survive in these cities. The question is whether you're prepared to get there fast enough to claim your spot among the living. And if you stuck with me this far, like and subscribe. I'd appreciate that. Thank you.